Hey y'all, it's your girl Cassandra here with Pecan Porch Boutique. I have several other thrift flips for you guys. So welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. And come on y'all, let's just jump right in. So for project number one, I have this cute little guitar and stand that my sister picked up for me at a garage sale. She paid $15 for it. And she's been asking me like, when are you going to do the guitar? When are you going to do the guitar? So this video, I'm doing the guitar. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get these little clips off of here. And I want to disconnect the strings. I'm not going to leave the strings on here. So it won't be playable when I'm done. It's just going to be a prop. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just taking my little snips and I'm snipping the strings off of them. And then y'all, I had to really wrestle with these little pink, I don't know what they were, little plastic, I guess, covers for the, whatever those little things are at the top. You can tell I don't know anything about guitars. So that is what I did until I got these off. So someone had put this little sticker on here, and so next up I am going to actually just kind of peel this sticker off of here as well. I don't want anything that's going to disrupt my paint. Once I'm done with peeling the sticker off and getting it all cleaned up, I am going to give it 2 coats of shellac, which I'm brushing on because I'm going to be using a little bit of milk paint. Really quick scuff sand after I got it all cleaned up, getting it ready for the milk paint to have something to stick to. But before that, I am going to decoupage the bottom portion of the guitar with Roadside Treasures paper musical notes, which I thought, I mean, that's a great paper, right, for this particular piece. So this is called Musical Notes, and it's actually by Roadside Treasures. I just kind of used my finger to score it, but then y'all, I made it too little, so I ended up having to do another piece to actually put on it. So, but I'm going to be using DIY's liquid patina to actually adhere the paper. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and use DIY's White Swan to paint the front face of this bottom part of the guitar white, because it's kind of a creamy color, which I probably could have decoupaged over that creamy color if not for that sticker. So the sticker kind of gave it a two-tone look, so I just decided to go ahead and paint the entire flat front of the bottom part of this guitar white. So now for the sides and the back, I'm going to be using Sweet Pickins Milk Paint in Coral. Y'all, I am so slowly falling in love with this Coral color. It's so pretty, kind of a pinkish. And I just thought this little guitar, since it's so small and dainty, would be pretty in this pink color. So Sweet Pickins Milk Paint is a powder paint. You use it in a 1-to-1 ratio, powder to water. But you can kind of choose, you know, if your thickness or your thinness, you know, you just add water how you want to and get the consistency that you want to. So you can see that I've already done 2 coats of shellac, and now I'm ready to put my milk paint on. Once I stir that milk paint up, get it all mixed up, sit it to the side for a couple of minutes, let it thicken up. And now here I am putting it on. And I believe, if I remember correctly, this little guitar took about 3 coats of this milk paint. I switched to a smaller brush to try to get up in between those little string adjusters. That was an interesting journey, trying to get that milk paint up in there, but I did it anyway. I succeeded, y'all, on the back and the front. So now here I am going in with my liquid patina by DIY. I'm starting with an anchor strip at the top, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I wrestled with this decoupage paper. I mean, but what's a project if something doesn't come along during your process that you don't have to wrestle with? Well, this was my wrestling point. I'm sure that I could have done some cuts and that kind of thing, and did a better, and had a smoother road here with this decoupage paper. But you know what? I took the rough route. But in the end, y'all, I got it down there. So I'm just going to keep working my way down with my liquid patina. I'm not cutting anything out at the time. I'll wait until that's dry. I'll trim it off with some sandpaper around the edges, and I'll use my little X-Acto knife to trim out the hole there and the little black portion toward the bottom. This was nowhere near wrinkle free, y'all, but I'm not really worried about wrinkles because in my next step, as you'll see, most of them are going to get covered up anyway. And I guess that's why I'm thinking, oh, I'll just take the rough route, because even though I got tons of wrinkles, I'm going to cover them up in the next step. And here is the next step. I'm going to be using this transfer by IOD, and it's called By Any Other Name. This came out this past spring, and it is so pretty, y'all. It has all these little birds and flowers in it. And so I'm going to be applying some of the transfers that I've taken out, or that I've cut out already, of this little booklet to the front of this guitar. Now I've already sealed the top of this again with the liquid patina, and it's dry, and so now I'm just applying some transfers. And I think you guys probably know how easy it is by now to apply a transfer. I like to apply mine to sealed surfaces, and so because I've already sealed this up, now I just take my transfer off the backing, lay it down. I take my transfer stick, I press down while I'm pulling that vinyl up, and off comes the transfer, y'all. And then I take just that vellum and I just kind of brush it down to make sure that it adheres really well. And you have a beautiful transfer. So simple, but such a great pop of uniqueness for whatever piece it is that you're working on. And just like that, this little guitar is finished. We'll take a look back at what it looked like before, and here is a look now. I love how this turned out. I hope my sister does too. And of course, you guys can see that I did not miss adding some gold here and there because I can't help myself. I sealed the transfers over with a liquid patina as well. And I sealed up the milk paint with some Sweet Pickins dark oil wax. And I love how this turned out, y'all. I think if not for the fact that the strings were gone, we could make beautiful music. Well, now we can just imagine beautiful music. I hope you guys like it. I like it. I really do. I love it. All right, onward to project number 2. So last summer, y'all, I bought 2 of these cats, ceramic-like cats, from a garage sale. I paid $5 each for them. And this one has been sitting at, well, both of them have been sitting out in my yard forever. So after a lot of cleaning, because they were outside, like with moss and everything else on them. So I cleaned them up as best as I could. This one is in the laying position. The other one I bought is kind of in the kind of sitting up position. So I decided to do this one first. And I am going to be using Sweet Pickins Milk Paint in Curry. So that is what I'm doing here. I've gotten him all cleaned off, all dried off. And now I'm going to paint him all up in this curry color. And this particular one has these really pretty green glass eyes and a little black glass nose. I think the other one probably had glass eyes and nose too, but I don't know, something happened to those. But anyway, I thought he was cute. So, but he also has a lot of chips, like where pieces of it have broken off. And so I'm going to be using those little random chips and places where some of them have broken off or all around him. And I'm just going to be using DIY's little black dress, and I'm just going to be painting in black on those random places. And then I'm going to also go into the folds of his fur and do some little black stripes. That's going to be the first project after, since I've gotten the milk paint on and it's all dry. That's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of coming in and giving him some stripes for right now. So once I'm done with these painting him all, giving him his stripes, I'm going to take him out and give him 2 coats of weather defense, just in case somebody wants to put him back on the porch. But for now, I am going to be using IOD, a couple of little pieces from the inlays, and I'm going to give him some flowers as well. So he's going to be a curry colored floral cat. No, a curry colored black striped floral cat. That's what he's going to be. So I've taken some of the little pieces from IOD inlays. I think it's rose chintz and lattice rose with the flowers on them. I'm using liquid patina, and I am just going to be pressing these inlays into that patina and into his folds and all along his body. Now it did take a little bit of extra liquid patina and some extra pressing into those folds to really get that inlay to adhere along those folds and in and out of those folds. And then I just took my baby wipe, if it was wet enough, or I might have used my mister to spritz those inlay pieces and really push down and get them adhered well. I love the inlays because they're so bendable on these carrier sheets. And so once they were dry to touch, now I can just come along and either wet them with my baby wipe, or I think I took my mister on some of them and just misted them a little bit and started to peel them back. And I was happily surprised that they did adhere, and I did get some good images of the flowers. So I'm just taking all of these off now, the ones that are dry to touch. Once they're all off, I will once again take him outside and give him another spray of the weather defense to seal these inlays in. And this little kitty cat will be all fixed up and ready to go. All right, let's take a look back now at the pretty eyes and little nose of this plain little kitty cat. And look at him now, y'all. Oh, I really fell in love with how he turned out with his black stripes, his curry colored background, and the flowers from the inlays. He is so unique. What do you guys think? I really love him. All right, let's get it, y'all. Let's go on. We are on project number 3 now, and we're going to be upcycling this free roadside find that my sister picked up for me. Cute little drop leaf coffee table. And yes, it's one of those that's been sitting out under my carport. So time for a cleaning before I drag it in. Whew! All right, I got it all cleaned up and now it's inside. I'm going to be painting the bottom portion of this table with DIY's little black dress. And I'm not going to paint that middle part, but I'm going to paint the frame and the legs. I'm going to leave the middle part unpainted because the little mechanism or the little block of wood that swings out and actually pushes up those flaps on the side, the drop leaves on each side. I don't want the paint to get in the way of that. So I won't be painting in the middle part, but I will be painting the legs and just the outside of the frame in DIY's little black dress. All right, after 2 coats of that DIY little black dress on the base, I am now doing a patchwork again of IOD's lattice rose and rose chintz inlays. Now the rose chintz inlay is no longer in production, but the lattice rose is, and you can find that in any other IOD products on my website at pecanporchboutique.com. But I am using cowgirl coral. So I've already done 2 coats of the cowgirl coral by DIY Paint on top, and I'm going to be laying the inlay into that cowgirl coral now on the top. And I've just kind of pulled out some various pieces, and I'm not doing anything, it's all random. I'm just laying them on here. I'm gonna lay them into the paint. You'll see me kind of misting the table first. That's because my paint was really thick. Some people do mist the inlays. I typically don't do that, but I will mist the table first, and then I'll run my paint over it in a very thick coat, so that I can lay the inlay into it. I will lay the inlays into the paint with the grid side up, and then I will mist it again and smooth it down with a baby wipe. And I'm just going to do this all over this table. All right, so now after patchworking my way along this entire tabletop with the drop leaves pulled up, it's time for the fun part, y'all. Peeling these back. And these came out so good. The inlays really do turn out really well when they are embedded in the paint. So look at these. You can tell that I just patched these in. Some pieces are larger, some pieces are smaller, but they turned out really pretty. All right, so I was not through though, y'all. Once that all dried up from the water that I had spritzed on there to remove them, I pulled out one of my oldies but goodies, the IOD Barnwood plank stamp. I could not, I was just, I had forgotten how much I love this stamp, y'all. So I'm going to be adding some faux texture right over all of these floral inlays. And I kind of wanted to give it a look like, you know, there were these old barn planks, fence, and the flowers, random wildflowers were growing behind them. So I'm using IOD ink in black to actually stamp up this particular plank. You get actually a couple of different plank looks in this 2-sheet stamp. It's an oldie, y'all, but it is a goodie. I still have some on my website too if you're interested. And it also comes with these like little you know, the little knots that you might see in old wood, and these little nails where people actually nailed in the wood by hand. This is such a great stamp. So I wanted to create some faux texture, and so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just inking up this particular plank stamp that I'm using here, and I'm just laying it down there, holding it with one hand and just kind of tapping it, patting it down with the other, just to get that really pretty faux looking fence type, wood type fence look. And then I'm adding some of these little knots right here. This is so fun to play with, y'all. This barnwood stamp is definitely a staple. If you don't have it, you really should get it. But anyway, so I just kept on doing that. I added some nails, and it was so fun to play with this. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to do this over the entire surface of this table, and then once that's all dry, I'm going to use DIY's Big Top to seal everything in, and this little table will be done. And just like that, this roadside find is finished. A quick look back at what it looked like before. And take a look, y'all. This picture is a picture of also from the lattice rose inlay. And I put this inlay underneath those drop leaves so that when you're looking at it from the front, it won't just be plain black. But look at the top, y'all. And the sides, oh my goodness, I love how this came out. That barnwood plank was a game changer. Look how pretty this is. I also added some of the bronze metallic from Pintart, the bronze metallic paste along the edge. But I just love, love, love. I won't say love one more time. Love this table. It turned out so cute, I think. I hope you guys like it too. What do you think? All right, y'all, our fourth and final project is a very simple little project. I found this little wooden plaque at a garage sale this spring. It was $4, and it actually came from Ross. It had a price on the back where it was reduced to $12. And I just kind of wanted to give this a simple little black and white look. So that is what I'm gonna do. So I kind of scuffed it up a little bit, and then once I was done with that, I came in again with DIY's Little Black Dress, and I'm gonna give it 2 coats of Little Black Dress all over front, back, and sides. Once my black coats were dry, I'm going to come in now and I'm going to do the frame just kind of in a skip coat, meaning it's not really a dry brush, but it's not full coverage either. And I'm just going to kind of skip across both of the little wooden flower and stems in the middle, along with the little frame around the outside. Once that's done and dry, I'm going to be using Paint Couture's 2-step crackle along the frame. But for now, I'm just going to kind of go over and give it a white, kind of a skip coat, maybe semi dry brush. And I forgot to mention that this is DIY's White Swan that I'm using for the white. Okay, my paint is dry now, and I'm starting off with Paint Couture's two-step crackle. And I'm starting out with step number 1. Step number 1 is kind of this thinner crackle medium, and I'm just going to brush it all over along the frame. Now, the thinner coat if you put on a thinner coat of this medium, you will get thinner crackle. If you put on a thicker coat, you will get the bigger crackle. For this, I'm just putting on a thin coat all along the frame for because I want some, I guess, just tiny crackle, not big crackle. So I decided to go with a thin coat. You want to let step number 1 sit for about an hour or so until it becomes tacky. Once you touch it and feel that it's tacky, now it's time for step number 2. Step number 2 is kind of a thicker medium, and you want to brush that right over that tacky step number 1. And then for step number 2, I let this particular step dry completely overnight. So the next day, I decided that I wanted to bring out those crackle with some of the dark umber paste. So I watered that down a lot. And turn it mostly into a glaze. So I watered that down. I brushed it on wherever I put that crackle. I brushed that on, and then I just took a shop towel to remove it, and I could really see the crackles come through once I did that. So again, you can use whatever you want to bring your crackle out, or you can leave it just natural and just seal it up. But I decided to use the darker antiquing gel, and this is by Pentart. It is the umber color, and the crackles really do show up well. So let's take a look back, y'all, at this quick project. It was cute. It was wood. I could have actually left it that way, but I decided just to give it a little bit of an upcycle because I wanted this black and white look. And this is what we came out with. And I really do like how it turned out. I turned it over on the back and I put one of those little sawtooth hangers on it. And so now it's ready to hang on the wall. I sealed the white part of it with DIY's liquid patina, and then I went again on the back with that same umber antiquing gel. So this one is all done. And that is it, y'all, for this video. I hope you guys liked the projects. Tell me which one you liked best, or if you liked any. Thank you so much for watching. You can definitely find Roadside papers and IOD on my website at pecanporchboutique.com. And until next time, don't forget to bud, bloom, and be unique.